Right, welcome everyone. Right, again, my name is Tyson Haynes. I've been with the Miami Association of Realtors for 11 years. And what we're going to go ahead and go into today in the very first session of our Zooms is we're going to go directly into the RPR system so I can show you all of the amazing benefits when it comes to using the platform when you're working with your commercial buyers and sellers. Okay, now, if you have questions, I love questions. Just keep those in chat for me. You're going to make my life a lot easier when I edit this video, when I go ahead and cut it up and then put it on our YouTube channel so that I can send you guys a copy. Again, if you have questions, you're more than welcome to put those directly into chat. But most likely, as I go through the system, I'm probably going to answer a lot of your questions as we go through the platform. But if you have questions like, hey, what can you do this with this platform? You're more than welcome to put that directly in the chat. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do before we get started, guys, the one thing I like to stress is we're human beings. We're going to remember some of the information that I go over today with you. All of the videos that we do have those on our website. So any class that I teach, again, my name's Tyson Haynes. Any class that Connie Nieto teaches and Christy teaches, when we create those videos, you can easily find the latest and greatest videos on the Miami Realtors website. If you hover your mouse right here where it says education. So later on today, I ask that you guys go here, go to education, and then click this little button where it says tech training. Again, you don't go over here, you go right there where it says tech training. Give that a click. Okay. And once you're there and you want to start watching all of our videos, you have all of our product and services located here. But more importantly, if you want to jump directly into seeing all of our commercial content, including all of the product and services that we offer that will help you work with your commercial clients, go right here where you see commercial tech series. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat. Just that way, everyone has access to this. All right. And Coral, no, you do not have to have your camera on. Do not worry about cameras, guys. And also, you're going to get credit for today's class also towards the CE. Not CE, rather, what I meant to say is towards the commercial certificate. Sorry about that. You will get credit for that as points. Okay. So I just put this page directly in the chat, guys. Come in here when you have time. We have several different products that will help you, and not to mention videos that will help you understand working your commercial due diligence, including all of the videos for Matrix when it comes to searching for commercial listings. And I'm going to be honest with you, Matrix actually has some amazing benefits when it comes to looking for commercial listings. For example, the business opportunity section in the Matrix system, it's a lot easier to find businesses that are for sale when the owner is selling the trade name, the equipment, the inventory, things like that. There is, of course, benefits using the commercial MLS platform. And not to mention, if you're new to commercial, we have the 201 when it comes to the commercial MLS, where we do a deep dive on prospecting, looking for commercial sellers in order to pick up some listing agreements. And we also cover in the commercial MLS 201 how to run a CMA, how to run a commercial comparable, also in that class. If you're new to commercial, what is extremely important to learn is zoning. So you want to make sure that you take the land mastery series. Now, each individual municipality has their own zoning districts and their individual use codes assigned in that area. So you would want to make sure that you either take, if you would like in person or via Zoom or watch the videos, this is going to tell you all of the benefits of learning zoning, not just for commercial, but also for residential. So if you're an agent that primarily does residential, you're getting your feet into commercial, take these classes, take the land mastery classes, because it's going to help you answer questions when you're working directly with your buyer. So if you're working with a buyer and they say, hey, I'm moving to an area I'm not used to. I want to move over to, for example, near Cayocho, or they say, I want to buy a single family home. Okay, I know I could buy this single family home, but maybe I want to have my parents, right, move in, or my kids, right? And then they have their own space, maybe an in-law quarter. This class is going to teach you zoning districts and the potential uses where we might be able to, with of course permitting, add that in-law quarter to figure out if it's allowed in that area, as well as carports, things like that. We break that down for all of the counties that we service. So again, when you come here, take advantage of all of the videos, including today's RPR commercial. You'll find that video located here. And there is a commercial service that only commercial agents have. It's an exclusive platform by the name of Commercial Member to Member. And what that platform can help with is if you're a commercial agent and you upgrade to commercial membership, what you can do with the Commercial Member to Member platform is if you ever have a property that's available for sale or for lease, that's commercial or maybe multifamily, all the way down to a duplex, you can use the Commercial Member to Member platform and send an email to all of our commercial members letting them know, hey, I have a listing. If you have a buyer, let's go ahead and make that happen. Okay. The other benefit of the Commercial Member to Member platform is, and this is an often issue with commercial, is you have a buyer or a tenant that has very specific needs. For example, they're looking for a warehouse, maybe in the Medley area or Doral, that needs to be specifically 40 feet with a modern HVAC system, phase three in specific. And you're looking everywhere. You, as the buyer's agent, you're looking everywhere. You're going into Matrix, RPR, you're going directly into other third-party websites, and you cannot find that listing. You can go into the Commercial Member to Member platform and let all commercial agents know when you have a want and need when you're working with a tenant as well as a potential commercial buyer as well. The video located here on the right is going to give you instructions on how to create that broadcast using that platform, as well as setting up your account using the Commercial Member to Member. Okay, with that said, everything that we're going to discuss today in RPR, you do not have to be a commercial member in order to use RPR or Matrix to see commercial listings or to take advantage of their commercial product and services. If you want to become a commercial member, the main goal of becoming a commercial member is having access to the member to member platform, as well as having access to the commercial realtor logo for commercial realtors. Okay, so if you don't know what that is, if you are a commercial member and you want to add, for example, the commercial realtor logo to your marketing, maybe you use services like Canva, Photoshop, and you want to incorporate that commercial logo specifically in your branding. You can go here at the very top of the website where it says services, and then you would go right here where it says co-branded marketing materials. All right, you would give that a click, and then you can find all of our logos. And I will put this in the chat located here in the bottom right where you see downloadable logos. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put this page in the chat just real quick. And then I'm going to show you guys exactly where we have our commercial logos here on this page. Okay, so right here we have the Miami Commercial Realtors logo. You can add that to Photoshop, Canva as a part of your marketing when you're working with your customers. My opinion, you would want to download the .png version of these logos so that you can add it in, for example, Canva, so that it removes the background. Okay, the commercial realtor logo is located on this page down here in the bottom right where you see commercial NER logo. Again, you do have to have a commercial membership in order to use that realtor logo here on the right. Okay, now without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to go directly into the RPR system, and I want to give you guys a full breakdown of all of the individual products, and not to mention all of the syndication when it comes to looking for commercial listings, all of the amazing websites that syndicate listings directly to their platform. Okay, so I'm going to go right here into the gateway. All right, this is one way to find RPR is by going directly into your gateway. You would locate this icon within your membership dashboard. All right, And as I mentioned, I've been with the board for 11 years, guys. My opinion is we have a lot of amazing product and services, but you can get lost in the mirage of all of these different product and services that we offer. We have a magnifying glass, just in case you did not know, located over here on the left, where you can search. You can very quickly enter the name of that product that you want to jump into so that you can quickly find it inside of the dashboard. So I'm just going to go here real quick. I'm going to put RPR. I'm going to click on apply. And then what that does is it will just show me that service here inside of my dashboard. Okay, another way to get into RPR is by simply going into your browser and then putting narrpr.com. Okay, all right. But I find that the dashboard's the easiest way to sign in. It will automatically sign you in to the platform so that you can get started. Okay. Now, before we jump into commercial, when it comes to using the RPR platform, I first want you guys to know all of the amazing opportunities of using this platform. I'm going to go ahead and put this into chat just real quick. This is a learning hub provided by the National Association of Realtors. It has all of the breakdowns on the report systems that you can use, including information based on all of the amazing syndication partners that automatically send listings directly to RPR. So make sure that you come in here if you want to learn how to use the RPR site selection tool, which we're going to do in a little bit. I'm going to explain the benefits of that for a commercial investor. And not to mention, this page has videos as well. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and go right back into RPR. All right. And if you have not registered for an RPR account before, your RPR is going to look just like this. Okay. In order to register, you're going to need to go right here in the bottom where it says create a new account. All right. Again, if you haven't registered, you're going to go here. In order to register, you're going to need to look yourself up. You're going to need to enter your last name. But if you have a fairly common last name, instead, I would recommend coming down here where you can enter your email address as well as your membership NAR ID right here so you can find yourself. Okay. If you happen to not know what your NAR member ID is, you can locate your member ID inside of the dashboard here within your resource panels by clicking this button where it says the Miami dashboard. All right. Now you're going to need to know your member ID in order to register an RPR account as well as registering an account with the National Association of Realtors. When you access your membership record, your M1 ID right here is your NAR ID that you would need in order to potentially register inside to use the RPR system, as well as registering with the NAR as well, if you decide to go to narpr.com. All right. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and sign in. All right. And first, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go directly here into the main dashboard. And I want to make sure we understand all of the amazing benefits of the dashboard. Okay. Now, you're going to notice over here on the left, there is a toggle where I can switch this platform up from allowing me to search for residential properties to switching it to looking directly at commercial properties. So we're going to go here, switch this entire platform so that we can look at commercial properties, including searching for commercial properties. Okay, now when I do that, what that does is it's going to change my markets. Okay, in a moment, I'm going to teach you how to enter all of your individual service areas. It's important to use RPR to set up your markets so you can track when you're working with your buyers and sellers, so you can find all of the opportunity in your local market, including brand new inventory, rentals that are available, and not to mention price modifications, and of course, recently closed commercial sales in your local market. We're going to come back here in just a moment. I'm going to explain all of these menus nice and slowly, but I'm a visual learner And I just want to make sure that I explain a very, very important thing. Okay, so your markets, it's very similar to Matrix, where we have the ability to enter our service areas, including where we live and where we currently have commercial buyers and sellers. Also, okay, now when we're searching inside of RPR, we get to decide what we consider to be a brand new listing. And when this little blue tag and this little orange icon shows up when we're searching inside of the MLS. Okay, so I'm going to teach you now how to go into your settings so that you can determine what you consider to be a new listing, as well as what you might consider to be a recently closed commercial transaction. Okay, so we're going to move over here in the top right. Okay, where we're going to go first is we're going to go into the settings button right here where you see settings. Okay, excellent. Now, over here on the left is where we get to decide what we consider to be a brand new residential property, or what we consider to be a recently closed sale when it comes to residential and commercial listings. Okay. All right. Now, I just switched it back to the default. Okay. So when we're searching inside of the RPR system, all right, if we leave it like it is here with 30 days, and I'm looking at listings via the map, or I'm looking at listings in RPR using my results. Okay, if I leave it like this, I'm telling the system, show me this tag if the listing has been listed no more than 30 days ago. Okay, so a practical way to change this would be if you come into the RPR platform a lot. Okay, so if you're a residential agent, you're working with, for example, buyers, and you're coming into this platform to find that deal, that listing, I would recommend changing this to something like 14 days. So if I switch this to 14 days, I have the confidence to know when this tag shows up, it means that that listing is 14 days old or possibly younger. But if you come in to the RPR system often, maybe daily, I would switch this menu to something like 7 days, maybe down to 3 days. If you're in here every single day, all the way down to possibly 1 day. But a good rule of thumb is to keep it somewhere at 14 days when it comes to residential listings. Okay, a little bit further down as well, this dial will show me within my results any closed residential deals, okay, that have had a buyer move into that property that have been sold. Okay, my opinion on this is me, is I would switch this to 90 days so that I know as I'm searching for maybe deals, or I'm searching for residential comps, I would switch this to 90 days. And I say that just because of the volatility of our market. We have a stable market, but we have different types of markets. For example, condos, they're taking a little longer to sell. We have a lot of inventory when it comes to condos. Not to mention, we still have single family home markets that are still in sellers markets to more balanced markets. I just happen to find that 90 days is a good way to know that it's a recently sold residential comp that has closed within the past 90 days. Okay. My recommendation when it comes to commercial is leave these like they are. Commercial listings are a little slower than residential listings. Again, if I leave it just like this, and this icon shows up when I'm searching inside of the MLS, it tells me that that listing is under 30 days old when it comes to commercial. Okay, and because commercial sales are slower than residential sales, I would recommend also leaving this blue square here to show me closed sales that have happened within the past 180 days, within the past 6 months. Okay, now if you do change anything here, you want to make sure that you move down here in the bottom left, click on save so you lock in all of your changes. Okay, now earlier, I'm going to go right back into the main menu. Earlier, I was showing you your markets where you can enter all of your service areas. In order to add your markets. You're going to come back up here in the top right, and then you're going to click on settings. Over here on the right is where you can enter all of your markets, including the zip codes that you service. You can also enter cities. All right. And another amazing benefit of RPR that I personally think is probably the biggest thing that this thing can do is you can put neighborhoods as well. You could put communities. For example, if you have a buyer that's looking to buy property specifically in the Silver Lakes community, again, I'm thinking residential with this just real quick. I just want to show you for my residential agents, you could literally put communities in here as well, just to track inventory as it's happening there. All right. Because this class is commercial, we're going to add some amazing commercial districts just real quick. We're going to put in Medley just to add that as a local market. All right. We're going to also add Doral for today as well. All right. And then we'll add also Wynwood. Okay. Now, as you search, just make sure that you look at the drop down menu. Make sure it's the area that you're interested in. So, for example, if we want Wynwood by itself, we would click on Wynwood in Miami, Florida. If we're looking at the art district in particular, we just want to hyper focus on that area. We can click on that and then add it here. This will show me the list of my markets as I add them here over time. Okay. Now, if there's a market that maybe I no longer service, you do have the ability to change your markets. You can remove markets you no longer use by clicking the remove button over here on the right. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and save. I'm going to go back to the home page. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the amazing benefits of being able to jump directly into your markets so you can track all of the activities happening there. Okay, now agents, they will often miss this little scroll bar. This scroll bar is very, very important. It's going to allow you to see all of the markets that you've added inside of the RPR system. All right, so if you want to go directly to find all of the inventory, for example, in the Medley area, you can. If you want to track maybe later on the Doral market, you can. And then this is going to give me those new listings. Again, what I consider to be a brand new listing based on the changes I made in my settings. I am showing two recent listings here in the Doral market that are available for sale. I can even click on them in order to figure out what they are. So it does look like this is an office unit, possibly an office building, priced here at 2.5 million, located in the zoning district of industrial. I also have the entire lot size at 9,552. When I click on it, it will also give me the overall address, and this is also really good. It's going to give me the current owner of that unit. Okay, if this is a unit maybe my customer's interested in, I can click right here where you see view full details. That's going to put me inside of that listing so I can see more information. Okay, if I'm a busy agent, right, and this is maybe a listing I want to send to my customer maybe later, you also have the ability to click this little heart right there. What that does is it's going to save that listing as a favorite, and you can find any of your favorite listings located right up here where it says My Work. You would click that button, and then you would move here into the menu, and then this is going to allow you to find your saved properties, including the one we just hoarded, your recent properties. Maybe you forgot to favorite a property. Maybe you were looking at a listing and you want to see all of the listings that you recently looked at. You can look at your recent properties. If you've created any reports, including the trade area report that we're going to look at in just a little bit, you can find all of your reports right here. Notes you've left on properties, all of your individual saved searches, and your recent searches that maybe you forgot to save inside of this platform. Okay, another amazing location where you can find all of your favorite searches as well as all of your favorite properties is if you scroll down here in the main menu, you have access to finding those here, including all of your saved properties, recent searches, all of your reports, as well as all of the properties that you've left notes on down here at the very bottom of the main page. Okay. All right. Now, we're looking at the Doral market. We also have the ability to track leases inside of the area. Again, this means that these individual commercial leases are still available. We could track rented deals down here where tenants have moved in, where it says closed leases. Okay, but if I stay here under for lease, this will show me all of the active and available leases when it comes to commercial that are available. And again, it will give me the owner's information. And if this listing is available in multiple syndications, what I like about RPR is it will give me information. Again, if this property is available on multiple websites, I can go right here where you see multiple listings and it will tell me exactly where these listings are coming from. So I have this property listed twice, this unit. It's in the MLS, specifically in Matrix with this listing number here. And it's also letting me know that this listing is available in RPR directly from Brevitas. Okay, so we do get listings, I want to be very clear, from Brevitas as well as directly from the Matrix system. We also pull listings from Land Co-op as well, and many, many other syndications. So in a little bit, we'll circle back on syndications. I'll give you guys a full list of all of those individual websites that do send listings here inside of this platform. And that's right, RPR does have more commercial listings than Matrix, than the Matrix MLS. Okay, we can also try to track and see if there's any price changes, including price increases, price decreases. We can track any units in the area that have gone under contract, any recently closed sales. Again, I get to determine what I consider to be a recent closed sale. We can track leases, and very, very important when it comes to commercial is we would also want to track and see in our local markets if we're seeing any distressed properties. Distressed means that the owner of the property is behind on their mortgage payments, also known as a pre-foreclosure. Very, very important to go into your service areas to see if we're finding commercial owners becoming behind on their mortgage payments here. So Doral's a healthy market. I don't see anything there as far as any, again, any property owners that are behind on their mortgage payments. And I don't see any recent bank-owned acquisitions, including foreclosures in that market. Okay. All right. Now, as I mentioned, use this scroll bar. This will allow you to jump into all of your additional markets where you can track residential and commercial changes happening there. Okay. Now, we're going to move up. We're going to keep going. All right. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to move our mouse here on the left where you see research. Okay. We're going to go into research, and the very first thing that I want to teach you when it comes to commercial for RPR is the commercial site selection tool. Okay, the commercial site selection tool is provided by Moody's Analytics. Okay, but what does it do? The commercial site selection tool will allow you to find spending habits of consumers. So if you ever have, for example, maybe a restaurant owner, a gas station owner, any commercial business owner that's looking to move, for example, they're moving from one area to another area, we can find spending habits of consumers in order to help them find the right area to open up their commercial businesses. All right, again, this is a tool that both residential and commercial agents have access to. So we're going to run a little bit of a scenario, just real quick. We're going to pretend that we're working directly with a restaurant owner. They're moving from the Fort Lauderdale area. They're moving specifically, they're thinking about moving their restaurant directly into the Hollywood area. So we're going to use this commercial site selection tool to find the area, again, based on spending habits of consumers, so that we can find that right location. We're going to also add another data set. So we're going to go into research. We're going to click on commercial site selection. We're going to also include a data set so we can track the disposable income of consumers that live there. Okay. The reason why I mention that is things are expensive, right? Inflation is still high. So we're going to find the area that has also potentially the highest disposable income. All right. We're going to keep into consideration possibly having a restaurant in mind where we can have it forward facing to the public. So if someone wants to stay there, eat there, they can. But we're going to also take into consideration delivery services also. So again, we're going to go here, research, and then we're going to click on the commercial site selection tool, guys. All right, I think I have a question. Let me just jump into chat real quick from Carl. Where is the consumer spending habit data coming from? Is this a national government information? So this is coming directly from Moody's Analytics. Okay. So they do compile this information directly from data being available through data brokers in specific. So that's a good question. All right, so we're going to go here. We're going to select the area that we want to focus on. So we're going to put in Hollywood, Florida. We're going to load that there. And then what we're going to do next inside of the Hollywood area, we're going to track spending habits first. So we're going to move here where you see select an attribute. And then we're going to select what they buy inside of the Hollywood area. Okay, we're going to move over here. And before we select spending habits at restaurants, I want you guys to see all of these amazing options that we have here, including total expenditures at retail goods. So if I have a retail owner maybe moving from the beach more into a suburban area, we can track that. Maybe I have a liquor store owner as well, maybe moving. We have alcoholic beverages, apparel, dining out. Dining out is not just going to give me spending habits for restaurant owners. Dining out also gives me a breakdown for expenditures at, for example, food trucks, at mobile vendors, as well as, just going to open this up real quick. We also have expenditures at vending machines as well. Okay, we can track education expenses, entertainment, including recreation, financial services. Food is going to give me expenses on individual items such as steak, chicken. So if I have a wholesale business moving, I can track expenditures. We're going to see here on bread, cookies, fresh biscuits, rolls and muffins, fresh cakes, sweet rolls, pies, dairy, butter, margarine, ice cream, fruit and vegetables, all the way down, as I mentioned, to individual items such as beef, pork, lamb, poultry, seafood, eggs, Coca-Cola drinks, coffee, tea. This can help with many, many different types of businesses. Okay. We have healthcare too, household goods, household services. All right. So that's going to be, once we open that up, childcare, lawn and garden, security systems, moving and storage, and all of the household operations. We also have phone expenditures, miscellaneous expenses as well, including tobacco products, lotteries, legal fees, funeral expenses, cemetery lots, charity donations, educational donations, religious donations. All right. Expenditures on transportation. So this is what I meant by for gas stations, gasoline, diesel fuel, leased vehicles, public transportation, electric vehicle charging stations. And not to mention, last but not least, guys, on travel. So if I have a business owner that owns as well as lodging, we have lodging here, travel, transportation costs, food and drink, entertainment. Man, this system's absolutely outstanding. It has so many amazing benefits and not to mention data sets. So we're going to go to dining out to make this nice and easy. We're going to go to dining out. And then what we're going to select here for this one is we're going to incorporate all dining out. Okay, so if I click on all dining out, that's going to incorporate allowing me to pick up these subgroups, including all dining out at restaurants, dining out at fast food restaurants, and also dining out at restaurants for dinner. So my business model that I have in mind is the business owner has a restaurant that they want to keep open from the morning all the way through the evening. Okay, but as I mentioned, we also have tracking vending machines and mobile vendors such as food trucks. Okay, so that's going to be the first data set that we're going to select. We're going to add, as I mentioned, disposable income. We're going to go right here where you see add more criteria. And then what this is going to allow me to do is we're going to add also who they are so we can find income information. So we're going to go here, who they are. We're going to click on who they are. We're going to move into this middle section, and then we're going to select income. And then we're going to click as the last data set, average disposable income. I'm going to click out all the way to the bottom where it says okay, so I can lock that in. And then we're going to run the analysis for the Hollywood, Florida area. We're going to find spending habits of consumers, but we're also going to use RPR in order to search and find if there's any possible businesses for sale. So if I have an investor that maybe wants to buy a current business where they're selling the trade name, inventory, and equipment, we could track that. And if I have a buyer also, maybe they want to buy the restaurant location. I want to show you where we can get the analysis, but also search in that area to see if there's anything active and maybe available for sale. Okay, now this is going to be the map letting us know the areas that have the highest expenditures. Okay, so the dark area here, these are going to be the absolute best areas. If I have anything in a lighter purple, that's going to be the second best, better areas that we can look up. But there's different ways to look at the area that you're studying. So right here where you see geography, this will allow you to switch it. For example, if I want to find all of the areas possibly in the Hollywood area that are considered opportunity zones, if I have maybe a commercial buyer that wants to buy maybe a restaurant, possibly knock it down, rebuild it, this is going to show me the areas that are considered as opportunity zones where they can save on their capital gains. Again, if they take a restaurant, for example, knock it down, rebuild it, in these areas that qualify, they could save on their capital gains at the time that they fix it and possibly flip that restaurant location. Their capital gains tax for that area would go from somewhere around 35% to somewhere around 5 to 8% in this area that qualifies. We have some other options to cut up the information. We can also look at the areas based on their zip codes here, macro neighborhoods as well. So that's going to be a northern part of Hollywood there, the Emerald Hills area. We also have the intermediate neighborhoods as well. And we can also look at, if the data is there, we can look at minor neighborhoods just to get a little closer. And we could also look at this area based on the census block groups directly from the government as well. Okay, for this demonstration, we're going to keep it on the intermediate neighborhoods actually, just to see more data for this area. And these dials right here, where it says all dining out and average disposable income. All right, if you leave them just like they are, it's automatically going to give us the area that spends the most. For example, dining out, and the area that has the highest disposable income. But if I flip these bars the opposite direction, it's going to give me the area that spends the least at restaurants and the area that has, for example, in this case, the lowest average disposable income. Okay. All right. Now we're going to keep it like it is. We're going to move down. And if this is an area that I'm not familiar with, I can move down here. This will give me all of the individual areas, all of the intermediate neighborhoods there. And if I want to quickly line these up to show me the areas that spend the most annually, I can click on this button here where you see all dining out. That lines them up here in order. And it's letting me know the area that spends the absolute most annually per home. We're looking at 8,180, as we can see. And again, if I don't know where this area is at, if I click this square, it's going to show me exactly where that area is in my map. Okay. I can also track the next best area, which is the Emerald Hills area. Okay, so if I'm working with, just as an example, a potential investor and they want to open up a restaurant, from what I'm seeing, it looks as though to me we would want to try to find a potential restaurant location somewhere over here. But I can continue to look. We can track the next best location, Oak Ridge, just to see if that area deviates somewhere else. Okay, so it looks like that's going to be the third best area for us to look for. Okay, all right. We also can track the average disposable income located here as well. And if we ever want to line that up, if we just want to see the data based on the average disposable income and sort it that way, we absolutely can. Okay. All right. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to go back under research. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the map. We're going to jump directly into a map search. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to see if there's any possible commercial space in this area that we might be able to buy if I have a buyer, as well as tracking to see if there's any individual business possibly for sale also inside of this area. Okay, so we're going to go to research, and then we're going to go right here to the map search option. Okay, now we're going to hit the minus button just so we zoom out. And then we're going to locate the Hollywood area that we're focusing on. All right. We're going to go ahead and switch this to commercial just to make sure that it's on commercial. Sometimes the dial switches back to residential. And then we're going to locate that Hollywood area to zoom in here. All right. And then we're going to draw. We're going to draw so we can find any possible commercial listings inside of this area. Okay. The easiest way to draw is right over here. You have the draw button. The easiest way to draw, in my opinion, is using the freehand option. This is going to allow you to draw how you want to so you can find exactly the area that you want to search in. There's other ways to search and draw. There's the radius tool. There's the polygon tool as well, and the box option. Okay, we're going to go ahead and click on freehand. All right, and then what I'm going to go ahead and do is we're going to draw it right here inside of this area, just so we can see if there's possibly any restaurants available for sale. All right, I'm going to let go. All right, it draws that shape around that area. And then what we're going to go ahead and do now is we have three amazing options. Okay, if I want to search for commercial listings inside of this area, or maybe search off market to maybe cold call restaurant owners, I can search inside of this area. I'm going to show you how you can look at on-market listings for this area. And I'm also going to show you how you can perform an off-market search. So if you want to contact restaurant owners or restaurants themselves directly, I'm going to show you where you can do that using the search areas button. Also, when you're using your map, if you want to just simply draw and then run the site selection, so you find spending habits on the area you want to draw within, you also have the site selection tool. You can also save the areas that you want to search within by clicking the Save Area button right here. Okay. Another amazing option is if you want to create a report, a trade area report with a commercial investor, you can click also on the Create Report button. If you make a mistake and you need to redraw on the area that you're interested in, you can delete as well as edit the overall boundaries of the area that you selected as well. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and search inside of this area. We're going to click on search. All right, and RPR, here's what's interesting about RPR is RPR will remember the exact search that you did the last time that you used their platform. So a very, very good habit, especially if you go into the map and you draw, you want to go up here in the top right where you see more filters so you know what listings it's giving you. So we're going to go right up here, top right where you see more filters. All right, and then this gives me the ability to hyper focus and jump directly into different aspects of commercial real estate. Okay, so we're going to move over here to the left. All right, for sale is going to let me find any commercial property or business opportunity that's available for sale, including tracking active listings, any listing that is currently under contract, anything that is under contract where for example, under pending, where the owner is not considering backup offers. We can find temporarily off of the market property using hold. That means that that property should be available again within the next 30 days. We can also find comps in RPR. We can track closed sales. We can track properties that are off of the market for more than 30 days that are under withdrawn status. We can also use RPR to find canceled listings as well as expired listings for both for sale and also for leases. Okay. If you want to turn your search into an off-market search, meaning you want to find homeowners that are not even thinking about possibly selling their units, you also have public records as well. Okay, for now, we're going to keep it with the for sale option. We're going to use active, and then we're going to keep the restaurant option on, and then we're going to also keep the commercial option on. The reason why I say that is when it comes to commercial properties, if we use restaurant, it means that the property, when it was built specifically for a restaurant. Commercial will allow me to look a little more general. We do have commercial properties that fall within zoning districts that may have other uses. So if I go under commercial and I find maybe a retail space, just to put that into consideration, it's currently only approved right now for retail use. But the zoning district says if I contact the city planners using a variance request to have it rezoned, we might be able to find the ability to have it rezoned for something else, maybe for a restaurant, just to put that into consideration. So we're going to use for now both the commercial as well as the restaurant option for the search that we're going to do now. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and move down. I also want to make sure you guys know there's other ways to search and filter inside of this platform. You can search by sale price. So if you're ever looking for comps, you do have the ability to search within a price range, entering a minimum and maximum. You can search by the total price. You can also search by the lot price per square foot. You can also search by the building price per square feet, as well as the lot price per acre as well. Okay. All right. Now, a little bit further down, you can also search by the total building size. So if you're ever running a comp, maybe for an office unit, maybe you have a tenant moving into an office and you're running a commercial lease comp, you can enter a minimum square foot to a maximum square foot for the area they're looking to occupy. You can run that search using square footage as well as acreage size, using the lot size option here towards the very bottom. For multifamily, right here where you see number of units, if you ever have a buyer that's looking for maybe, as an example, 30 multifamily units, up to maybe 40 multifamily units, you can enter your minimum and your maximum. Another thing to mention that's important when it comes to the number of units is if you also have a buyer that's maybe looking to buy multiple office spaces, use the number of units. You can come here, enter the total amount of units that your buyer is looking to purchase inside of that commercial transaction. All right, as we go down, this is very important. We can also track distressed property owners, or we can exclude them as a whole from our search. Okay, right here where you see foreclosure, this is going to allow me to find commercial property owners that are behind on their mortgage payments. They're still in possession of their property, but they're somewhere behind. They either got their first notice from their bank, which is called a lease pendants, or they may have got their second notice, which is called a notice of default. Okay, we can also track foreclosures that are not yet auctions, and we can also find properties that are foreclosed on. And I say this nicely. For example, the commercial owner did not pay their mortgage. Okay, the property went to auction, and the property is now in acquisition of the bank. We can find all of those recently bank-owned properties, also known as REO, which is real estate owned. Okay, just like IMAP, we can also search based on the distress date, including when that property owner received that notice directly from their lender. Okay, a little bit further down, we can also search by the land use assigned for that commercial property or land directly from the city or the county as well using land use. But I have to say something. I have to say something. I love commercial. I'm a data guy. I just have to say something if I may. RPR is a nationwide system. RPR is a nationwide system. Okay. So this doesn't work exactly how we would want it to work based on municipal code, Florida municipal code. This is more of a general way of searching, and it doesn't always give us all of the potential properties that we're looking for. I find uh, IMAP for this to be just a little bit better so that we stay in accordance with municipal code based on the state of Florida's individual municipal codes. If you want to search for properties based on their use codes through the state of Florida, again, I like IMAP better for that because we have all of the state's municipal codes located right here. Again, they're all uniform, and we do teach you how to use these inside of the commercial MLS class, as well as the land mastery and zoning courses. Okay, so we're going to go back real quick. Again, my opinion, this can make or break you if you incorporate searching based on the uses assigned by the city or the municipality. Again, this is a nationwide system. It can be a hit or a miss. Okay, organization will allow you to search based on all of the boards that you have membership with located here. All right, and then a little bit further down, you also have the ability to search for owners as well based on the properties that they own. So if you know the owner's name, you can search by their name or LLC, as well as by their office address, the years that the properties were built, which is important for commercial classifications. And not to mention, a little bit further down, we can search based on how long the owner has owned that property as well. Okay, this keyword search here, you would use this when you're looking for listings. Okay, so if you're ever looking for listings, use this keyword search. This will allow you to look and search based on the agent's description. So if they're mentioning, for example, that the warehouse was remodeled and I have a buyer that wants to buy a 1950s warehouse, for example, that has been substantially remodeled, we can use the keyword searches. And as long as the agent's describing that in their listing, we can find all of those listings. Now, right down here, the RPR system is automatically giving us suggestions that we can use in search using the agent's description located here. Okay, so we're going to come up to the top real quick. We're going to use for sale active commercial restaurant, again, inside of the area where we drew. Okay, we're going to click on update and search. And where you end up inside of your search, it depends on where you were the last time you were searching inside of the RPR system. So where I am right now is I'm in my overall map view. And earlier, when we were inside of our settings, we told the system to add this little indicator so that I know that this commercial listing is 30 days old or possibly newer. When I don't see it, for example, on these listings, it means that they've been on the market for more than 30 days. Okay. Now, when I see red inside of my search, it means that it is a distressed property, specifically a foreclosure inside of my search. Okay. But as I said, there's three different ways to look at the listings inside of RPR. This is the map search. We also have a photo grid view, which will allow you when you're looking at properties and listings, you can jump directly through the photos, just like so. All right, and then we have that traditional grid view here that will give me a little bit more information, including letting me know their individual statuses, the property types, the asking price of each unit, the address, the square footage from the lot size versus the acreage size, the year that the units were built, the total price per square foot, and another opportunity to favorite the property if this might be, for example, the unit that my commercial buyer or seller might be interested in. And if it's listed using multiple platforms, it will allow me to see multiple listings and tell me exactly where those syndication partners are coming from. All right. Okay, so what we're going to go and do real quick is we're going to move down. We're running a scenario. We're pretending that we're working directly with an investor. Okay, so we're going to go to this one real quick. This one is under distress. 1610 North Dixie Highway. This is a general commercial property. It's not a restaurant, so it's not built for that. We're going to go ahead and access it real quick. All right, it's the current asking price is 4.7 for this location, and we're just going to check to see what it is real quick. Okay, so it looks like it might be an office unit towards the very bottom, and it looks like it might be multifamily units there towards the tops. It is. It does say that. 48 unit mixed use property. Here, 1610 North Dixie Highway in Hollywood, Florida, a true value at price. The asset consists of apartments, there we are, offices and retail and storage as well. Okay, and it is located inside of the Hollywood area, specifically in the zoning district of DH3. Okay. All right, now, okay, what we're going to do real quick is I want to teach you guys, just in case you missed Monday's class, we're just going to cover a little bit of some zoning, if that's all right. The current use that is coming back for this listing is it's letting me know that the current approved use possibly by the county is for medical use at this time. Okay, the property use is also mirroring that for doctors and medical use. Okay, but if I'm working with a buyer, I want to do my site due diligence and I want to figure out what DH3 means. Again, it means it's near the Dixie Highway. I want to be able to determine if my buyer purchases these units and they may want to maybe have it rezoned by contacting the city or municipality for a variance request. I need to figure out what those zoning flexibility options are. Okay, so if you did not know, towards the very beginning of the year, I created this resource. If you go to miamirealtors.com/zoning. So again, miamirealtors.com/zoning. There's a class for this. This is just a little taste of that class. You could go, for example, if the property you're looking at is inside of the Broward County area, you can confirm all of the zoning districts as well as all of the uses that are allowed inside of that zoning district. We have this available for all of the counties that we service, from Miami, Broward, Palm Beach, all the way up to Port St. Lucie, as well as Martin County. So because the property that we're looking at is in the Hollywood area, we're just going to go here real quick, Broward County. All right, and realistically, what you would want to do is you would want to go directly into municipal code for the Hollywood area. So we do have the zoning indexes located right here for each city. What I would do, just to make it a little easier so that you can jump into the zoning index, I find that GIS maps are just a lot easier to use in order to confirm zoning. So we also have those here. I'm going to access the Hollywood GIS map. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do our site due diligence real quick. I'm going to take this property's address, and then we're going to put that inside of the Hollywood GIS map so that we can find it, get into that zoning district if it's an area I'm not used to. That put me right into that Dixie Highway 3 zoning district here. And if I want to quickly jump into municipal code and learn that zoning district and what that means, I can go right here to zoning regulation. That's going to put me inside of, letting me know all of the permitted uses there. But I find that GIS maps are just easier to confirm this as well, so you're not getting lost through municipal code. But DH3, it's going to let me know all of the potential uses for rezoning purposes. So I have 3 categories for residential: live and work, which is that mixed use option; multifamily. We also have the ability to have single family homes as well; lodging options, including bed and breakfasts in this area; hotel and motels; office uses as well; and I have 18 individual commercial uses allowed. Okay, so my buyer wants to buy this unit. We have confirmed with, of course, again, one more time, contacting the city with a variance request and having them approve it. We might be able to have this property rezoned for a restaurant use. We have other uses allowed there, including car washes, coin laundry, dry cleaner, food processing, special exceptions, civic uses, educational uses, industrial uses, and some general commercial uses, including automotive repair shops, automotive sales, new and used, also inside of that DH3 district, guys. Just wanted to show you that real quick. Again, this is inside of the miamirealtors.com/, zoning section. You do have to be signed in order to get there. If you like that and you found that to be pretty cool, go in the chat for me real quick. I'm just curious to see if you guys like that. We just want to make sure it's nice and easy for you guys to confirm your zoning so you can do your site due diligence. Okay, so we're going to go right back into RPR, guys, real quick. All right, again, use your filters here so you can look for on-market listings for sale, for lease, as well as using the public records search. Okay, the next thing that I want to show you inside of RPR is their trade area reports. These trade area reports, they're great for commercial, but they're also very good for residential agents. What I like about the trade area report for residential, just to get that out of the way real quick, is it's going to tell me the type of buyers that live there, the type of buyers that it's going to tell me the type of properties that they like to purchase. It will also let me know if it's a good investment area for an absentee owner. So if I have a buyer that wants to buy in an area, it's going to tell me if the area is dominated by property owners that live there versus if it's an area that's dominated by, for example, renters, where there's a lot of absentee owners. The other benefit of the trade area report, which we're about to run, so again, it's under research, it's right here under commercial trade areas. The other benefit is for commercial buyer or potential tenant. Okay, what it will also do for me is give demographical information on that area, including the type of trades that people have that live there, but it also gives me traffic counts. Traffic counts hurts and helps a commercial deal. We would want to find an area for a restaurant that has the highest amount of traffic, car traffic. And if I have a warehouse owner, we would want to find areas that do not have as many cars going through it so that a semi can offload cargo easier, including for wholesale purposes also. So we're going to come here real quick. We're going to enter a service area. We're going to go ahead and look within, let's say, I did use the Hollywood area, so let's get out of Broward. We'll go back to Miami a little bit. We'll go ahead and focus on a booming market that is now going across the turnpike. We're seeing a lot of growth for Doral east of the turnpike and west of the turnpike. We're going to go here, and then we're going to lock in the Doral, Florida area. All right. Okay, guys. So we're going to move here. We're going to move down. And this is the trade area report that I can see from a bird's eye view. This isn't the report that I would give to my potential commercial buyer or seller. This is just for me to look at. But if I want to give them all of this information, I would go over here to create the report. Before we do that, though, let's just make sure we understand what we're looking at. Okay, so over here on the left, where you see median household income, this is being provided directly from Esri. Esri does pull information for all areas inside of the United States. Esri gives us both the average household income, the median household income, and then they give us attributions such as segmentation on the type of owners or renters that live there. So again, segment is a fancy way of saying it's letting me know the type of owners that own property there, as well as if there's renters in that area. just to make it nice and easy. This will also give me the median age, meaning the age of individuals in the middle age group in that area. And then this will also give me the total population, for example, for the Doral area. And it will tell me when they pulled this information for each data set. Okay, if I want to, I can go a little bit farther down and just look at the demographical information here, including the total population. It will compare it from the Doral area, comparing it to the entire county as well as the entire state of Florida. Okay, as I move down, it will also give me the daytime population. That's important for a retail owner. That's also very, very good for any type of commercial investor. It's not good for a warehouse owner. So we would want to know if there's a lot of, for example, daytime population in that area. As we go down, it will let me know if the area's gone up in population going back since 2020. It will let me know if they've gone up in population. So it does look like Durrell's gone up within the past 6 years in population by 10%. All right. It will also give me a projection on if they're going to grow within the next 4 years as well. We can compare that to the growth from Miami-Dade, Florida, average household sizes, population, households, as well as the female to male ratio for that area. This is going to give me the type of owners that live there as well. Okay. So it's letting me know that a dominating group that occupies the Doral area, they make up 22.6% of the Doral area. The name of that type of owner that lives there, they're called the boom burbs. Okay. If you don't know what that means, and I like to explain things nice and practical. If I don't know what boom burbs means or modern minds or diverse horizons mean, there is a little I here that will give you a little bit of a clearer explanation on what they mean by professional pride or trendsetters. But for you to really know what they are, is you have to move down here. It's going to tell you the type of properties that they like to buy. So almost a quarter of the population for Doral, they like single family homes. They're typically married. And then the next group that makes up 16.1% of them, they like multifamily units in specific, possibly apartments. They are married couples. Some of them are also single individuals. This will break down so you understand all of those different segmentations. Okay, but there's nothing like, honestly, moving to the top and running the report up here where you see create report. This will give you a clear explanation on what they mean by boom burbs, what they mean by, for example, modern minds, diverse horizons. It's going to tell you who they are. So we're going to go up here real quick. We're going to click on create, not script rather. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to click on that. We'll do that one later. Sorry about that. We're going to move here to where it says create report. All right. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to launch the trade area template. Okay. Now, the trade area report, it has been updated, but what I want to make sure you guys know, because I know that this class has a lot of residential agents. Right here where you see create report, you can do reports for residential properties as well as commercial properties. And if you've used RPR for many years, they've now made it easier for us to edit our reports as well as adding any additional marketing that maybe our brokerage requires us when we're working with our buyers or our sellers. Okay. So this is something I just want to cover real quick. We're going to look at the trade area report, but I want to show you using the template. It's a lot easier to remove segments of the report that that our buyer or seller may not want to look at. So we're just going to go here real quick. We're going to name this. We're going to say that we're working with John Smith buyer. We're going to name it that. I'm going to click on continue. All right. So this is the brand new report editor, but I want to repeat something one more time. This is available for residential as well as commercial reports. That you add here in the top right under your profile. You can also add your social media handles, website information. And if you want to personalize this report for your customer, you can. You could say this is the trade area report giving us market insights on the Doral area, just like so. Okay. Again, that's going to be the little message that shows up here for my potential customer. Okay. Custom pages. This will allow me to add any marketing that my brokerage requires that I add when I'm working residential deals or when I'm working commercial deals. This will allow me to go into my computer and then add any additional PDFs that I want to attach to that order. Okay, so I'm going to go here real quick. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add this report. And then all of my reports, they stay inside of this system, including all of the marketing PDFs that I add inside of the system. Okay, so if I want to add custom pages, I can. I would just click on the ones that I want to appear inside of the report, just like so. Again, anything with the check mark is going to show up inside of the report. All right, as we keep going, we can also add individual photos of the Doral area if we would like. Right here where you see add photos, that's going to put you into your computer where you can add photos. For example, maybe you're looking at an office building for a buyer and you want to incorporate that. You can add that located here. And then last but not least, location. This is where you go to change the area that you want inside of your trade area report. So if you want to switch it from Doral, maybe to the Medley area, maybe to a different area as a whole, you just come here, you put the area that you want to look up, then you click on save. All right, so we're going to go back to customize real quick. All right, customize is brand new within the RPR system. This will allow us to edit the individual pages that shows up inside of the report that we're creating for that customer. So this is new. This is for residential and commercial. Some of our customers may want to only look at, for example, the traffic counts. They may not care, for example, about the demographics, the individuals that live there. So you have the ability to jump into any section of the report and you get to decide what parts of the report that you do not want to show up. All right. So if they don't care about the population, you can turn that off. As you can see, if they don't care about the demographics, including the age, you can turn that off. The individuals that are married there, income. Again, I want to make sure you guys know how to customize your reports before you launch them. So we're going to keep for now the economy information, including unemployment numbers, unemployment rates, how they commute inside of the Doral area when they go to work. We're going to incorporate the home values for now, the traffic counts, as well as if I've added any photos, I can have that also show up inside of the report here. Last but not least, I do suggest to keep this on. This is going to tell that potential customer that we're working with where RPR gets all of their data from. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move to the right. We're going to go ahead and launch the trade area report. This is also new. There is a share button. Okay, you don't have to now email the reports via PDF to your customers using the download. There's now a share button for all reports inside of the RPR button where you can send these reports using a dynamic link. So if you want to text your customers the links, send it to them via text message, WhatsApp, or send a link maybe via email. This is new, including for your CMAs. We could copy the link. We still have an option to email using this platform, as well as sharing this report if we want to social media, including Facebook, LinkedIn, as well as X. All right, let me jump into chat real quick, guys. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, absolutely, Kimberly. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to use the classic version for now. We're just going to go to download so that we can open up the report. All right, and it's only going to generate, as I said, the areas that I check marked that I want to show up inside of this report. All right, now this is the front page. All right, this is my little message directly to my customer here on the right. It's going to have all of my information. And as I go through it, if I've added any additional attachments, maybe I ran a CMA for a customer, it's going to show all of that information, including all of those additional attachments that I provided. All right, and as I go down, it will also give me a breakdown for that community. So we covered this earlier. We went through boom burbs, modern mines. What I want to show you that's a little bit different inside of the trade area report is it will give you a clear explanation on what Esri means by boom burbs. So it's letting me know here who they are. These neighborhoods are primarily located in the suburbs of metropolitan areas, while populations exceeding 500,000, mainly in the south and west. Most members of the segment are between 25 and 54, with an overall population that is young. Nearly a third are under the age of 18. Married couples with or without children are prevalent in this segment. Household incomes are predominantly upper tier, and workers are frequently employed full-time in fields including government, management, sales, businesses. It will give me a clear breakdown of their lifestyle patterns so that I know those type of individuals that live there. So the other aspect of this is if I'm working with an investor, maybe they're interested in Doral. Again, it looks like a quarter of the population, they like single family homes. We can also go to the other dominating groups there to figure out if it's an area good for investments, maybe for multifamily purchases as well. Okay, so the next group, we have their age group. All right, and they do also look like they do like to purchase property. So it does say here the segment is a mix of homeowners and renters. Okay, so a little bit of an aspect for renters, making up 16.1%, residing in both single family homes and multifamily units as well. Okay, guys, as we go down, we get all of the other groups that live there, including professional pride, trendsetters. As we go down, we did include within this report the unemployment groups for Doral, as well as comparing that to Miami-Dade County, the state of Florida. All right, and as we go down, we get their how they commute to work, how they get to work, if they drive alone, work at home, carpool. And a little bit farther down, we get home values for Doral, comparing that to Miami-Dade County in Florida, letting me know if they've gone up or down in value within the past 12 months. So Doral has gone down in value within the past 12 months. They've gone down by 10%. But this is incorporating all residential property. I'm talking single family homes, condos, townhomes. All right, we have the median asking price of sellers in that area for Doral, comparing that to Miami-Dade County as well as the state of Florida. All right, and it will give me a 12-month change. So if any sellers have lowered their prices within the past 12 months, it will let me know that average percent as well. And not to mention, these are great talking points for social media as well. So if you want to create maybe a quick 30-second, 60-second short on your social media, this is a great little snapshot of that local market. Last but not least, inside of this report, we also have the traffic counts. So we're going to come down here real quick. This is going to let me know the areas, including the intersections in the Doral area that have the absolute most traffic. And it should give me the top 5 roads. But there is a way in the previous screen where you could, unless they got rid of it, we're just going to double check real quick, where I think they can give you the top 20 roads. Hold on real quick. Traffic counts. Yes. So if you go to traffic counts, you have the ability to change this also to give you the top 20 intersections, just to show you that real quick. I haven't given me the top 5, but you can edit the report before you generate it. You can get the top 20 intersections. So just real quick, it's letting me know the number one area that has the highest amount of traffic, again, car traffic, is going to be the intersection of Milam, Dairy, and East Drive. Second is this one. I think we know this if you know Doral. Yes, absolutely. Northwest 31st Street. That takes us directly to the turnpike there. It's letting me know that that's the busiest street. Third is Northwest 14th Street, where it meets cross direction of south. I have all of those top areas. So this is, again, great for a retail owner. So I would want to find maybe businesses there in those areas. Not so good for a warehouse owner, maybe looking to move their industrial warehouse inside of those areas. Again, guys, this is located here in the top left where you see research, right here where you see the trade area report. Okay, guys, that is it for now. But if you guys do want to take the next Zoom, commercial buyers and sellers and because we're living in a world that is constantly changing with variance requests to cities when it comes to zoning changes. I also want to make sure that if you have a landowner, maybe an agricultural landowner, having their land rezoned for residential use, which is a hot ticket these days. I want you to be able to have them as well as yourself be able to speak to maybe city planners as well to make that modification. So we're going to go here into RPR, into research. And then what I want to show you inside of the trade area report is we have a beautiful little script that uses artificial intelligence that will allow us to create a full script as well as creating a report or maybe a PowerPoint presentation. Again, when we're working with different types of commercial sellers, the buyers as well. Okay. All right. Now, once you load up the trade area report, once you click on create script, there's a lot of different ways that you can use this, including if you know this area fairly well and you just want to have quick to the point talking points for your commercial customers, you have a one-page summary. All right. You also have a detailed report that you can hand directly to your commercial customers as well, a PowerPoint presentation version, a video that you can post onto social media, including Facebook as well as Instagram, once a month to let everyone know how your local market's performing. And we also have the ability to send these reports. Maybe we have a commercial buyer or seller that's remote, maybe out of state or out of country. We can also use the client email option. And we can add a digital business card for ourselves using the social media card button located here towards the bottom. Okay, that's a good question, Tesha. So what you would do, all right, so you would go here inside of RPR. You would go to research. All right. And then once you're there, you would go here to the commercial trade area reports, and you can enter your local market, or if you want to follow along with what we're doing, I'm using for this example, we're going to use the Doral area. Okay, so the first one that I want to show you guys real quick is that quick, straight to the point, one-page summary. Again, this is all of the information that we get from that trade area report, where we can include the demographics of who lived there, including the type of owners that live there, the renters that live there, which is the primary segment. We can incorporate the income as well of the individuals that live there, the type of population and the type of housing that they're interested in. Now, before we generate this, we want to make sure that we select the appropriate term based on the individual audience that we're creating this, for example, one-page summary for. So under the select audience, this scriptwriter has come a long way within the past 3 years. We now have the ability to create a report for investors and developers. So if I have, for example, maybe a developer that wants me to do a site due diligence, maybe they're from another country, but they want to build here, or maybe they're out of state and they want to build properties here. We could focus on investors as well as developers. We can focus on tenants as well. Maybe you have a tenant moving into an office space, restaurant space, special use property as well. We can use tenants and business owners. We also have landlords and property owners, franchisees and national retail chains, property managers also. That's going to be great for those that have CAM license also. We also have economic development agencies, city planners. That's great for rezoning potential, chambers of commerce and business associations, along with industrial and local media. And last but not least, social media and digital marketing. So this option, this last one, this is great if I want to create that social media post so I have presence on my business pages as well on Facebook, Instagram. This would be that option to use specifically for the social video over here on the bottom left where it says social video. Okay. Now, if we are going to create a social video, so I can
put this onto, for example, Instagram, I would not use the tone of professional. I would instead, if I'm going to put it on something like Instagram or, for example, Facebook, I would want to use a friendly option or possibly a conversational option so that when I create that report or that video, it'll have more engagement, information in the video, and it might cause the person viewing the video to ask a question, and I might be able to follow up with them in order to generate a lead. And so again, I find that this option, social media and digital marketing audiences, this is for this option, social video. Okay, but if I'm creating a report, for example, if I'm working with a buyer that wants to buy property maybe in the Doral area and they're not familiar with that area, I would want to use the following option, either confident right here or possibly the direct and the bold option. And under audience, I would select, for example, investor or possibly developers. Okay, so for this example, we're going to incorporate all three of these here so that we pull the segments, the individuals that live there, income, the population, and the type of housing. So this is going to give me the under housing. It's going to let me know if the area is dominated by homeowners that live in their property, or as I mentioned earlier, it's going to give me a percentage on how much of the population are renters as well. So we're going to use one-page summary report. We're going to move down to generate content. And because this is AI, it's going to create a different description as well as a different one-line report each time that you use it. So if you don't like the first generation that you do, if you don't like the very first summary that it creates, you're more than welcome to click the generate button again. You're not limited to using this once. You can click it again. It will spit something out different each and every time as far as the overall wording. Okay, so if I'm working with maybe an investor that's interested in the Doral area, as well as possibly a developer, it's focusing on talking points about Doral for them. So it's going to give me an overall view, an executive summary for the Doral area. So it's letting me know Doral, Florida stands as a beacon for investors and developers, offering a fertile ground for growth and development with its burgeoning landscape with a striking median net worth of 539,415 and a robust projected median income of 116,194. Doral provides an enticing prospect for those seeking to capitalize on a vibrant and affluent community. This is going to give me that beautiful breakdown for demographics for that area, including the population has gone up by 10.35%. Again, all of this is everything that shows up in the trade area report that we were looking at in the first zone. It'll also give me a breakdown on their population, as we can see. It's going to also let me know the significance of how many folks are there during the daytime, as well as more information based on the median age of that area. So it is letting me know, indicating a thriving economic hub that attracts a substantial workforce. The median age of 37.3 years align with a dynamic and youthful demographic, which is further underscored by a presence of 12,872 residents in their 20s, pointing to a burgeoning millennial market ripe for innovative housing and commercial development. As you go down, this is my favorite part of the overall data that we get. As we go down, this will give that potential customer a breakdown on the type of owners that live there. What I would do though, if I use this, if I start talking about those demographics that live there, the boom burbs, modern minds, I would want to have the trade area report. We would want to go up here where we were in the 101 in the first class. I would want to click on create report. I would want to have that on screen as I'm going through these demographics so they know who the boom burbs are as well as the modern minds. All right, as I go down, it's also going to mention for the area of Doral, Florida, the development potential, including that there is strong income trends, a youthful and affluent demographic, and a stable in economic climate for investors and developers. So again, this is the one-page summary. But if you want to have a more detailed report, There is the detailed report that will give even greater information based on that local market, all the way down to individuals that live there that outright buy their property, and also looking at the individuals that live there that rent out their property. So it fleshes out those data sets just a little clearer, including the average household income per capita, their disposable income for the Doral area, the unemployment rate. And as we go down, it will give a better understanding of the population. As we go down, it will give us aspects of that market. This is my favorite part. Right here, it gives me the median household value, the 12-month change in value. So if the area has gone down in value, it'll mention that home ownership rate versus the amount of individuals that live there that rent out their property. So if I'm working with a potential investor, for example, the rent rate's high. It's at 55.2%. This is a great way to tell that investor, hey, based on the Doral area, it looks like we have less than half of the individuals that live there own property. This is a hot market in order to potentially purchase multifamily properties or to develop multifamily properties. It's going to give more insight on that local market, including the population density per mile, age ranges, investment on outlook and risk assessments, including their net worth, unemployment rate, and if the area's gone down as well in value. And a little bit further down, more information on why this would be a hot market in order to develop in. And it gives me asset types to focus on, including investors should focus on mixed use development. So right there, that's again, mixed use means apartments. First floor is the office units that manage all of the individual apartments above that. So it's telling me mixed use development opportunities and leverage the area's demographic diversity to optimize returns, guys. That way, when you're working with your customers and it's maybe an area that you're not familiar with, this will help you analyze that market to figure out the type of properties that they should build there. Okay. Now, this is if you want to say it out loud. There's also the PowerPoint presentation option, which will have all of those talking points. And then when I go to PowerPoint presentation, I can click on generate content. And if I want to have that as a slideshow, maybe I'm over Zoom and I want to have this on screen, I can have it that way. If I'm in front of my customers and I have a projector, also great for that as an option. So we're going to go ahead and generate it real quick. And then this is where I get to customize that PowerPoint, including selecting my overall colors here, including RPR blue, teal, terracotta, damson, sandstone. But if I want to select my colors, maybe my brokerage's colors, I can come in here and select my very own colors and select my font type, including a modern look, classic, clean, and bold. And once I'm ready to generate it, it's going to have all of the talking points here that I can double check before I generate that PowerPoint. And if it's not hitting what I want it to say, if it's not focusing on the renters that live there or the buyers that live there, maybe it forgot to incorporate the overall value as far as how much the area's gone up or down in value. You can, of course, go right back up to the top, click on generate content again. It is AI. It's going to generate something different each and every time that we use it. So we're going to go ahead and click on download PowerPoint. Went ahead and set this up with that beautiful red commercial color. Just want to show you what this looks like. We're going to go ahead and open it up. All right. And here we are. As long as we added our logo and our photo to our RPR account, that information is going to show up. We have that cover page here, and then we have a full, beautiful breakdown. This is brand new to commercial RPR. We have that area at a glance right there. So we have quick, straight to the point talking points, community segments of the individuals that live there, as well as the segment profile for the boom burbs. We also have a breakdown on their income and spending power for that area. And as we go down, we can go ahead and show them the very ending of that PowerPoint display, giving them why buyers should purchase there, along with our information on that very last page. All right, guys. So again, that's new. This was not in the script writer a couple of years ago. They just recently launched this option. But again, I would use the PowerPoint presentation, but I would still generate the trade area report because that fleshes everything out nice and crystal clear, and I can hand that out to that commercial buyer or seller when they're with me. Okay, last but not least is the social video. Again, the purpose of this is to put this on our Instagram or maybe our Facebook once a month. But the social video, as I mentioned, our audience is going to be social media and digital marketing audiences. And then right there under select tone, I would want to use something under this option. For example, friendly or possibly conversational. Okay. As you generate content, the other thing I want to tell you, as you generate anything, the detailed report, the PowerPoint presentation, you can find everything that you've generated saved in your account, located here on the right where you see media library. This will show you all of your past presentations saved inside of your account, and you can delete them and download them when you are ready. Okay, so we're going to go back real quick. We're just going to redo this. Again, we're going to use the social media video option here. We're going to use the conversational option. And again, we're going to focus on social media and digital marketing audiences. I'm going to click on social video. And then there's two different options that we have. We could focus on the demographics of that area, including income, including all of the individuals that live there, buyers versus renters. And then we have the overall community profile that gives us a story-driven neighborhood narrative that will give us the typography, including the demographics that live there. It depends on what audience we're creating this for. All right, so for this one, we're going to use the trade area snapshot. All right, and this is where we select the correct aspect ratio when it comes to uploading this video on different types of social media. So 9:16, again, that's going to be for Instagram or for Facebook if we're going to put that into a short. All right, we have wide as well, which is going to be more for YouTube, more for YouTube. And then we have square as well, which could be used for any social media program. I find square is going to be used more for example, Twitter, or now as it's known as X. Okay, so we're going to use this for Instagram. I'm going to come over to vertical real quick. And then for color palette, we're going to use the custom option. We're going to keep it with that beautiful little red commercial style there. I'm just going to go ahead and click on it, click out. All right. And then from there, we have music options. We can include three different music options, and we can preview those. There's an upbeat option, calm, and corporate as well. Again, if we click on that play button, it's going to allow us to hear it before we go ahead and move forward with creating the video. My personal favorite is the upbeat, so we're going to go ahead and click on the upbeat. I'm going to go to create trade area video. And then, as I said, this is artificial intelligence, so it will create a video differently each and every time that you use it. So I do suggest that you, if you don't like it the first time you create it, generate it again. And if it has a little bit of a different look and feel the second time that you generate it and you like it the second time, go ahead and use that copy. All right, let me go ahead and jump into chat real quick. Ashley, will there be a recording available? Yes, I will send you, yes, Ashley, a copy of today's recording towards the end of today. Absolutely. All right, so we have that video here. Again, this is the Instagram version, a full breakdown on the demographics of who lives there. All right, it goes directly into who they are, including if they're married couples, the type of properties they like, their average age group, the daytime population for that area. And it is letting me know it's backed up and saved in my library, the household income for that area, and their disposable income. That area versus nationally, if it's their unemployment rate's gone up or down. And then the home value for that area, as well as the amount of homeowners versus renters in that area. Great social media post that I could put into, for example, in this scenario, into Instagram. In order to do so, you go right here where you see download video. That's going to save it to your computer or your mobile device. That's right. If you have RPR mobile on your phone, you can do this also using the RPR mobile app. So you can download it and then upload it directly into Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn as well. All right, guys, just make sure your photo is a little bit better than mine. My photo is a little out of date. Make sure that you come up here in the top right corner where you see this little arrow and then go right into your profile and make sure that you have a good crystal clear photo. Add your logo prior to generating this AI content on your social media or provide